Good afternoon and welcome to my first video message. As you can see, I am sitting up in the treehouse here at school at King Alfred. The sun is shining, it's a beautiful spring day, and behind me the grounds look absolutely stunning. And I hope this message finds you well wherever you are at this time. I'd like to start my message by giving an update on what has happened over the last week. And as I'm sure everyone appreciates, our first priority has been to transition to distance learning for all of the students from reception right the way through to year 13, and to transition to working at home for all of our staff, both teaching and support staff. This has been a pretty significant undertaking, and I'm incredibly proud of how everybody has responded. All of the pupils of all ages, the teaching staff, the support staff, and of course parents too, who are now contending with home education alongside everything else on the domestic front. It does remind me of a quote from Vladimir Lenin that some of you may have heard before, and he said, there are decades when nothing happens, and then there are weeks when decades happen. And I don't know about you, but for me and for most of my colleagues, it certainly felt that kind of week this week. There have been many highlights. I've really enjoyed dropping into some of the video conferencing in both the lower and upper school, seeing the work that everybody is producing. And if you haven't yet seen Karen's Daily Farm video, they're definitely worth a watch. Like all institutions, we are on a steep learning curve, and it is inevitable that we will not get everything right immediately. And we do ask you to bear with us during this transition period. We are constantly, every day, reflecting on what we're doing. We're seeking to learn from other places as well. And we're really committed to making this the very best experience we can. So thank you for your patience whilst we continue to work on that. Over the last week, we've also been working on something called our 100-day plan that will lead the community through this extraordinary period. It focuses on making sure there is maximum learning and engagement on a student level. Obviously, that's already started. It also focuses on maximising student retention, and it focuses on well-being for the whole community. I've been meeting and talking with colleagues and with members of council. We have council meetings scheduled for the early part of next week, and then I will be able to share some further details with you. I also just now want to say a big thank you for all the messages of appreciation and support we've had from parents. This has been a challenging time. People have been working flat out to get this all up and running, and they really do lift people when we receive that feedback. Also, I want to say thank you for the constructive suggestions, and all of those feed into our thinking, so really do please keep them coming. And on a third thank you is for the sort of specific offers of help that have come from the parental community. It's been great because some of those we've been able to action already, and others we hope to action further down the line. Like many of you, I've also been reflecting and thinking about what the implications of this period are for the future, for the global community, for the world of work, and obviously particularly for the world of education. There's beginning to be some things written about that within the educational community and some discussions taking place, and I look forward to sharing some thoughts about that in my future messages. As we all know, community is very much at the heart of KAS, and the human contact and relationships are very much what makes this the place that it is. And I know many people will be missing those at this time. To replicate that in some small way, I've therefore decided to set aside in my diary each day a time from 2:30 to 3:30, where I just want to invite anyone who would like to come to have a conversation with me. And that conversation can be absolutely about anything. It can be something to do with the school, it can be something to do with the world of education, it can be about some suggestions you have that you think I ought to be listening to. If you would like to have one of these conversations, then you'll see in the email within which this video message was placed, there is also a link to a sign-up sheet. So please just click on that, sign up for a time, and I look forward to having those conversations from next week onwards. Please look out for these video messages every Monday and Friday moving forward, beginning and end of the week. They will contain important information. Obviously, we will continue to send stuff by email as well. And just to finish, I want to wish you all a safe, a healthy, and a peaceful weekend after what has without doubt been a unique week in all of our lives.